Podcast, where we take a deep dive into all things ammunition. I'm your host, Audrey, and today we are live on the NWTF 2025 floor in the Remington booth 423. We're joined today by Remington Pro Shooter Madison Sharpe.
Hey guys.
And Shotshell Product Manager Ronnie Evans.
Gobble, gobble.
We're here to talk sporting clays, turkeys, and we're always going to talk shot shell when Ronnie's on the show.
That's right.
So, Madison, you have a huge opportunity this year to shoot a Grand Slam in one season. You talked about wanting to do it on the last podcast you were in, and you actually have the chance to do that now. Can you tell us about how that came about?
Yeah, so I actually had somebody reach out to me right after our duck hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I connected to them through Echo Calls, basically.
Yeah.
And so he reached out to me. We made a connection, had some phone calls, and we're working on our Grand Slam this year. So we're going to be hitting South Carolina, Florida, Texas, Kansas, Wyoming, maybe a couple other states depending on how the season goes. But yeah, I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you you're just gonna go until you feel the slam?
I think that's the plan. Obviously, it depends on the weather and what the turkeys are doing and that type of thing. So it'll definitely be kind of hit and miss on when I'm going to be going and when I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of last minute. But I mean, I'm super excited for the opportunities. It should be really, really cool.
Yeah, and it's starting here pretty soon.
Yeah.
What is a Grand Slam? Can you break it down for our audience?
Yeah, so basically the North American Grand Slam is where you take your 4 subspecies of the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have your Eastern, your Osceola, your Rio, and your Merriam's.
Mm-hmm.
So,
those are all over the United States, obviously, the lower 48. So that's awesome. I think you're starting in Florida, right?
Yes, we'll start in Florida.
That's going to be great. I love the turkeys down there. They're beautiful.
They are.
Oh, they're gorgeous birds.
They are.
I'm partial to the Easterns because they're big, but turkeys in Florida are beautiful.
Yeah.
And what are you going to reach for to bag these birds?
Well, thanks for asking, Audrey. We're going to be shooting the premier TSS all season long. I mean, we talk about bang flop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's hopefully what's going to happen. These will absolutely whack a turkey, roll them over, and we have a dead turkey.
Yeah. And Ronnie, what makes TSS like the bad daddy of turkey shells?
Well, it's the sheer density, right? It's the density of the material. The shot material is 18 grams per cc, where lead is around 11, right? So a lot more dense. By being more dense, you can go to a smaller shot size. You might got more pellets in the pattern, a lot more pellets on target. And like, the thing about this, you're gonna run out of pattern before you run out of energy.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we don't condone shooting at 60 yards, but with what Madison's trying to accomplish this year, it may have to present itself for that, right? So she's going to be able to. She'll have serious ammunition on her hunt, right? So there's going to be times conditions change. She's going to be in the open some, or she may not be, and she may be in the timber, but longer shots may present themselves, and she'll have plenty of ammo to do it with, plenty of power.
Especially when you're reaching for something that's time constrained, like this, when you try to bag in one season. TSS is what you're going to reach for, but like out here at NWTF, we've gotten a lot of love for nitro turkey.
Oh, nitro turkey, we load more of that than anything we load in turkey loads, and it's proven for years and years to be an excellent choice for turkey hunters. The price is right.
Yeah.
It's good round lead shot. I mean, we make it in our own shot tire, and we grade the shot so it's perfectly round, so it flies straight and true. It just works. It's good ammunition. It works really well.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with going back to old school lead.
No. I mean, we load it in 4s, 5s, and 6s. So you have 3 different sizes of shot size, and we load it in 20 gauge as well as a 3-inch and 3.5-inch 12. So, I mean, it's a wide spectrum. If you can find what you need in that, I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah. And, Ronnie, I know that you're going for another Eastern this year. Where are you hunting?
I'm going to hunt in the home state of Arkansas, right? So got a couple places. We're already watching them, got game cameras out and getting excited about it. So we'll have a game plan and try to go get them. But we'll start, I believe it's the 21st of April is when our season starts, and we'll be after them that day. That day.
That's exciting. I mean, Arkansas is a tough cookie when it comes to turkeys.
It is. We've got some birds. Not like I saw coming to Tennessee. On our drive over, I bet you we saw 50 birds on the sides of the roads.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty neat. So, But yeah, they're slow but surely making their comeback in Arkansas, and we're excited to see that.
And back to you, Madison. You just got back from being in Dubai, where you had to leave your, trusty Nitro 727s behind. But tell us a little bit about Dubai.
Yeah, so I was over there for about 8 days. When you go over there, first of all, it was 10-hour time difference than where I'm from. And so just that part alone, jet lag and trying to adjust to the time. And then the culture over there, that's a super cool part about it. Get to learn new things, see things you've never seen before. We got to stay in a pretty cool resort. So the beach was right there. We go shoot. And then in the afternoons, I saw some people walking out on the beach.
Oh, that's awesome.
So go shoot, come back, relax. And unfortunately, we didn't have, nobody was able to bring their shells, or you couldn't just go buy shells.
Right.
We had to shoot the shells that were provided for us. And, the shells that they had over there, I could just feel a lot of recoil from them.
Yeah.
So that's like another reason why I love the Nitro 27s, is because the low recoil on the shells, and they just hammer a target.
Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic. Ronnie, the Nitro 27s, they're called 27s, I assume, from the handicap trap line.
Yep.
Yeah, but Madison shoots them for sporting. Why are they so great?
Well, the loads that are the most popular in this is the 12-35 ounce and the 8s or 7.5s. Madison shoots the 1 ounce, 7.5s, 1290s. So it is a little lighter recoil, but you've got a really good figure 8 wad, and it's got a real good cushion section in it, so it helps reduce some of that felt recoil.
Oh,
right?
gotcha.
So you're still getting good velocity and speed, but not getting beat up so bad. But it's just, when you look at, if you ever get a chance to open up, just cut open an STS or a Nitro 27 shell and just look at the shot. That stuff is perfectly round. It shines like diamonds.
Yeah.
It's perfect. We drop it out of our big shot tower, but then that's not all. After that, we run it across multiple tables to make sure it's graded out. It's perfect size. It's right, because when it's the right size and it's perfectly shaped, you get a good pattern. Well, when you can't have a small pattern. Madison can't have a small hole in her pattern because she may be shooting a mini, and a mini target's that big around.
Right.
And if it's not showing face, it's showing edge. That's hard to break if you don't have a good, consistent pattern.
Yeah.
And so this stuff is really good at that. It's hard to beat an STS or Nitro, any of the Nitro rounds, and it just worked really well.
Yeah, and turkey loads and target breaking loads are completely different, obviously, because when you're looking at a target load, you're looking at a big pattern.
Sure.
That matters.
That's right.
And when you're looking at a turkey load, you're looking at what, a 10-inch circle?
10-inch circle is what the big deal is, right? When we develop ammunition, we look at our standard stuff at 40 yards and a 30-inch circle, and we look at that with our turkeys also. But because you're shooting at this is the only time you aim a shotgun is when you're turkey hunting.
Very true.
Right?
Very
That's
true.
from a pro shooter.
Yeah.
So every time else you're pointing it. This you're actually aiming that gun. So you're actually looking for a point. So that's why we look so hard at that 10-inch circle. How many pellets is in that 10-inch circle? That's when you know you got pellets on target on the turkey, right? Where we're looking for an even dispersion.
Right.
Right? And then then you change that by your choke tube, at different angles and things like that. So, but you still want good even dispersion. Well, how do you get good even dispersion? With turkey, or perfect round shot.
Right.
And that gets you where you want to go.
And, both of these come from the shot tower, so they are perfectly round.
Well, now TSS, that's a different.
Oh, not TSS. I'm sorry, Nitro Turkey.
But now I might have messed up. But yeah, this is dropped from the same tower that makes this right here.
Yep.
Right? Higher antimony content. Antimony is a alloy we put in to make it harder, right? So then we'll take some of our turkey, now not the Nitro, but our Premier Magnum or high velocity turkey loads have a copper plating on it. So what the copper plating does, it makes kind of a harder shell.
Sure.
So that way when it's fired, it doesn't have the chance to distort. So that's it where you don't get flyers. Not that you will from this, but you could.
But it could,
you could. So it helps a little bit. You'll see maybe 5 to 10% improvement in patterns going with copper over non-plated lead. But you'll see those types of things like that too. So
yeah. And Madison, you gave us earlier, Ronnie is a sporting clay shooter. He likes to be competitive. And you gave him a really cool practice tip about actually shooting on a skeet field. So can you tell us that?
Yeah, so I'm a sporting clay shooter. I'm not a skeet shooter, but I will use a skeet field for practice. And when I do that, I'm not shooting a full round of skeet. So there's different versions of it, but kind of the version that I've developed and something that works really well for me is I call it the grid. So I'll go to stations 3, 4, and 5. And from stations 3 and 4, I'll shoot low report high. And then from 5 and then back to 4, I'll shoot high report low. And then from each station, 4 pairs in a row without missing.
Okay. And then once you hit the 4 pairs without missing, what do you...
Then I'll move to the next station. So I'll go to station 3, hit 4 pairs without missing, go to station 4, 4 pairs, station 5, 4 pairs, and then back to the center, 4 pairs.
Gotcha. And this is just like practice, or is it like a warm-up?
I would call it more of a practice for me, and this is why it's more of a consistency thing. So I'm practicing being consistent.
Okay.
So sporting clays is basically like golf with a shotgun. You know, we move from station to station, whereas in golf you're moving from hole to hole. So being consistent at each station, that's really big in the game. You know, I've lost by a target, by 2 targets, and if you go back and go look at my scorecard, it's dead pair, dead pair, dead pair, lost dead. Well, I just hit that target 3 times in a row. No excuse for me to miss it in my last pair.
Right.
So being more consistent on the course, one spot, standing there, and being able to break it 4 times in a row, then moving, it's a great... Skeet field is a perfect practice tool.
Just to get you locked in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know from shooting trap, which is what I shoot, that holding that focus is hard.
You got to stay honed the whole time, right?
And it's tiring. Like, it truly is. It takes, like, discipline. And when you come off the trap field, it's like, oh, it's snap time.
Yeah.
You know, you just shot 100 birds. You're like, snap time.
Yeah, it's the one thing that for me, because I used to shoot trap all the time, too, moving to sporting clays, is you do get the mental break for a minute, but you do have to start honing in before you get there, because you got to start developing your plan, how you're going to shoot the targets. And then when you're in the box, you got to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
And because if, like what you said, last weekend I shot. I broke the first 6, just smoked them, and missed the last pair.
Yeah.
And it's only because I took a mental break. There's 2 targets right there on one station.
Yep.
And that's frustrating. So that I can see where you talk about that, shooting that, forcing yourself to concentrate through. It's a level of focus you're trying to get yourself back into, and I need that bad. I'm easily distracted. I need all the help I can get to pull me back in.
Yeah.
My wife will tell you that too.
Yeah. And like, sporting clays is really fun to do.
Oh, I love it.
And it's really social. But competitive sporting clays and sporting clays for fun are different.
They're not the same.
Right.
Yes.
So if you're, I want to go on the weekends shoot sporting clays with my buddies, you're not going to feel that mental strain like you do when you're like, I'm trying to win. You know, I'm like,
I want to shoot a really good score. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I always wonder, because I've never competed, right? So I always wonder how the social aspect, does it change? Do you talk in between rounds?
So like if I'm out competing, I'll talk a little bit, but I don't want to go have a full-on blown conversation with somebody. In between stations. Obviously if I'm done shooting for the day, then but I'm pretty much the type of person who likes to go and shoot and kind of keep to myself, and then I kind of leave after I shoot, go back, and especially on like the days where I have some really, really good rounds. I mean, it takes right around 2.5, 3 hours to shoot 100 targets in competition. Yeah. So on those days where I have a really good round and I'm done, I mean, I feel like I just ran a marathon. All I'm going to do is go back, go eat, shower, and go to sleep. Do it again
kind of turn your brain off a little bit, right?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
Get that.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense.
The guy that like I shoot, now I go shoot a little competition, but my competition is even different than her competition. Right? So there's a lot of difference in there. So I can see... that'd be a load.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Madison's shooting for like world titles.
She's shooting, she's shooting for placement and things of that nature, and team. Yeah, I'm just hoping to get out of C class.
Make your way up in the world.
I'm trying to get to B.
Yeah.
So that's that's a whole different thing. But but Madison, I'll just say this: Madison's a very good ambassador for our brand, and we're lucky to have her. Enjoy. She's a good person. Enjoy. I bounce things off of her. We've talked about load several times and this, that, and the other, and she's told me don't mess with it. Good enough. And that's why I call her, right?
Yeah.
Because she's good to tell me that. And I really appreciate Madison. And she's again, good ambassador for our brand, and we're glad to have her as part of our team.
Yeah, she's
Yep,
like, don't
definitely
touch
so.
my Nitro 27.
She's, don't mess with that. I said, yes, ma'am.
Aye. Yeah,
I got
definitely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here, Madison. I know NWTF is pretty crazy, so thanks for taking some time.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate both of y'all and everything that Remington does for me. I mean, super excited for this season coming up. Team Remington has a really well-rounded team this year as well. So
Yes, yeah, we
it's
do.
gonna be great.
We
Yes.
got good people representing our brand. So.
We do.
But what we need is pictures from this Grand Slam. We're going to need pictures so we
Yeah.
can post them. We're going to want to show that off.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're going to want to tell the story for sure.
We're going to be as proud as you are, I promise.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have
so.
them hung up, you know.
Yep.
Photos
Oh,
of
yeah.
Madison in the office for sure. So.
Yep.
Well, there you have it, guys. Remington is on the rise. Like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to share this podcast with your hunting or shooting buddies. If you want to get a hold of me, Madison, or Ronnie here, you can email us at podcast@remington.com. Thanks for listening.